Welcome back. In our last two sessions, we talked about what is graphic design, types of graphic design, and now we'll be talking about the principles of graphic design. As a graphic designer, you have to know the principles that are involved in graphic design. Without these principles, you wouldn't go, you won't be able to design a professional graphic design work. So there are so many principles. So we'll briefly talk about 10 of them, okay? So the first principle we'll be talking about is balance. Balance. Graphic design should have a sense of equilibrium with elements evenly distributed throughout the composition. This can be achieved through symmetrical, asymmetrical, or radial balance. So when you're talking about balance, we are talking about your images, your text, your shapes, whatever element in your graphic design job should be evenly distributed throughout the graphics area. You can see that our images here and our text, they are evenly distributed, properly placed in strategic locations on this design area you are seeing. They are not scattered. You can see the way it's properly arranged professionally. We have our images, our text in this area. Then we have an images to balance up the text. We don't just have images here and here, we now left it vacant. So these images, this image here balanced up this text we are seeing here in this area from here to here. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about balance. This is what we are talking about. And the second thing we'll talk about is contrasts. The use of contrasting elements such as colors, size, shapes, texture, or typography helps create a visual interest and hierarchy in a design. What we mean by this, whatever element you are using in your design should have a sort of, they should flow together. Okay? Your colors, your images, your texts, especially, they should flow together. You can see from this design here, the theme of this design is joyful sound. And you can see the text, the font used, the text used. It's a professional font that was used, and it flows well with the theme. Then the corresponding images here, you can see that joyful sound, the image that we used here, it's corresponding with what we have. Joyful sound, the image here is a lady smiling. So we cannot just come and use, maybe for example, the image of a laborer here, or someone carrying cement, or children playing. It doesn't flow well with the theme of what we are designing for. So these are things that we should take note when we are designing. Your images, your text, they should all flow together to pass a corresponding message. You can see the background of this design. You can see sort of a church at the background. We cannot have a football pitch at the background. It doesn't sit well. Okay, that's for contrasts. Sorry, then let's talk more on colors again, on contrast. You can see the colors are very soothing. You have to make sure the type of color you use in your design. We don't just use uh multiple colors. For your colors in a design, as a professional designer, you shouldn't make use of more than three colors in your design. because the human eyes is not really comfortable with different colors. So you should limit your design to maximum of 3 colors. You can see in this design we have just 3 colors. This color looking like red, then white and orange. Okay, so you should take note of colors. And also, if you are designing for a brand and the brand has a brand color, for example, you are designing for MTN, MTN has a brand color of yellow and black, so you should stick with the brand color. You cannot see an MTN design that is having blue or green on it, so you should stick to brand colors. When designing also, the text you use, the fonts you use should not be more than 3. You can see in this our flyer, we have just 3 type of fonts we used here. This, this and this. So you should take note of the number of fonts you are using in your design. So we'll now go more on emphasis. The third principles of design, emphasis. Design elements should be arranged to create a focal point or hierarchy, guiding the viewer's attention and conveying the intended message. This is hierarchy in design. Design elements should be arranged to create a focal point. The focal point of this design is this joyful sound, which is the theme of the program. This is our focal point. So this emphasis, which is the third principle we are talking about that you should observe in graphic design, is talking about focal point, hierarchy. What do you want your viewer to see first when he or she looks at your design? So when you look at this design, you can see that you saw joyful sound and this image here. So this is what we want you to see. There should be a focal point when someone look at a design. Okay? So when you see this joyful sound, your eye guides you through downwards and you may see the time and the date, the address, okay? Then the name of the church organizing this program. So this is hierarchy. Every element in your design should not be bold. Every element in your design should not be bold. There should be a focal point. There should be hierarchy. In economics, we describe it as scale of preference. There should be something that should capture the eyes of your viewers first. Okay, in this design now, this is our focal point, joyful sound. Then also you can see this image. Most times, if you even check, you may see that you saw this image first before looking at this joyful sound. So this image captures your attention. You see a lady smiling, you say, wow, what's it talking about? You see joyful sound. Then you begin reading, you continue reading, and you see the church organizing it, the time and the date and the address. So this is hierarchy in designs. Okay. Now we'll talk about proximity. The fourth element we are talking about is proximity. Related elements should be grouped close together to visually connect them and establish a sense of organization and unity. Okay, this is the fourth one we are talking about. Related elements. When it means related elements, your date and your time, then address are related elements. You can see after having our date here, we saw our time before the address. These are related elements. I can't put my date here and take my time up here. It doesn't suit well. So related elements should be close together. That's what we are talking about proximity. This is present joyful sound. This present introduces the theme of this program. Excuse me. I can't have this present and go and put the date and time here. It doesn't suit well. So after present, you say, okay, present, joyful sound. Okay. Then I have my date, my time, my address. So these are